welcome back to another episode of the Royal Reset Podcast. Hello, Your Majesty. How are you doing today? I am so happy to see you, Your Highness. You're looking good. You're looking fantabulous, if I might say. Go ahead and prop me up in your living room, in your kitchen, in your dining room, wherever it is that you reset and do all your chores for the week ahead. Because, Queen, it is time to chat. And hopefully, you'll allow me the next 30 to an hour to inspire and motivate you as you prepare for your new week. Yeah, I am doing fabulous, Your Majesty. I am what? 5 days away from vacation. So vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, I don't know the words, but I just know my vacation is coming up. It's here. It's practically here. I'm already in vacation mode. I don't know if my job is going to get anything from me this week. But yeah, we shall see. So yeah, I am in a good mood, Your Majesty. I leave on Friday and I don't come back until the 28th, the 29th, one of them days. So, vacation, I am running. Yes, Your Majesty. Okay, but let's talk about you for a second. Because last week we spoke about some goals, right? Yeah. And we also spoke about Eliza and Angelica, mostly Angelica Schuyler from Hamilton, the musical. Yes, and we spoke about the power that we have right here and right now, the power that we have to bring forth whatever type of funds, abundance that we need because it's already within us. Yes. And we spoke about the week before that, shadow work, and how we come to the decision of who it is we are and what it is we truly desire from this life so that we can bring that into fruition with the power that we possess. We spoke about that. Yes, Your Majesty. So I want to know how you have taken those lessons and implemented those into your life. One, and two, I want to know about all the goals that you told me about last week. Did you accomplish what you set out to do? Were there some roadblocks? Were there some setbacks? Tell me how you slayed, Your Majesty. I just want to hear everything. I am so proud of you, Your Majesty. Look at you out here slaying your goals as only you can. And even when you have setbacks and roadblocks, you still overcome those with such ease. You make it look so effortless. But we both know it's hard. We both know it's difficult. And the fact that you continue to come back every single week, continue to set new goals, continue to pivot as you need so that you can reach your goals and your dreams and live the life that you deserve. Mm. Slay, Your Majesty. Slay. I am so proud of you, Your Highness. So proud of you. Okay. So, me. I am doing fantabulous. My goals for the week were to read, and I did that. Read 3 more books, finished the Windsor series that I told you about last week. Yes. And that's actually what we're going to be speaking about today. Mm-hmm. Juicy, delicious, pining and strong men on their knees, begging, please. Love to see it. Love to see it. Absolutely loved the series. What else? So the goal was to be today on day 27 of phase 2 of 75 Hard. I broke the rules yesterday. So I will be starting over on phase 2. Yes, yes, go ahead. I know. It's just a minor setback. It's just a minor roadblock because as soon as I come back from vacation, boom, we will restart phase 2 from day 1 and knock those 30 days out with a vengeance. Okay, I am not even stressing about it. I'm giving myself grace because not only did I finish 75 hard, I also finished phase 1. So I'm not going to trip, dip, or double dip, flip about it. I'm just going to come back and do it better and stronger after my vacation. So, yes, yes, we broke phase 2. But because we're in phase 2, we don't have to go all the way back to day 1 on 75 hard. I just have to go back to day 1 on phase 2. So I'll start the 30 days over with the new month of October. Yes, actually, I'll be starting on the 30th. So actually, no. The 29th is that Monday that I come back from vacation. So yeah, the 30th. I'll start on the 30th. Yeah, so that's that. And what else? That's really all about me, Your Majesty. I have just been preparing for my vacation, doing all the paperwork. Oh, that was another goal, to do all the paperwork for my raise slash promotion. And all the paperwork is done. I took my little drug test. I did my background check. Everything is cleared. Everything is good to go. And I am ready on the 30th. That's why I want to start phase 2 again on the 30th. On the 30th to start in my new role, in my new promoted role. So making more money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Hey, yes. So I'm doing really good, really good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. So let's discuss this week's 4B Queen of the Week. That will be none other than, drum roll please, Jasmine Crockett. Yes, yes, because us Jasmines, we do it better. And if you didn't know, yes, my name is Queen Maree, and that's what you should call me, but my name is actually Jasmine. Yes, yes, shout out to Jasmine Crockett for pushing through, even in the face of adversity, even in the face of setbacks, in the face of roadblocks. What is the purpose of celebrating a Queen of the Week every month, every week that we get together and we discuss and we talk and we chat? Is because we need to spend time looking at other people who are doing what it is we want to do, who are doing those things successfully, because it shows us that we can do it too, right? And for Jasmine Crockett to continue her legacy, even though they are trying to erase it, is just chef's kiss, the perfect example of how to keep going, even in the face of major setbacks. So if you do not know what's going on, if you do not know what's happening, the state of Texas has redistricted their maps for the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. The midterm elections usually revolve around Congress, so the House and the Senate, and mayoral candidates and governor candidates, right? And so she is and has been the House representative for the 30th District of Texas since 2023, right? However, because they just changed their maps, her district has low-key been merged with another district nearby, which is the 33rd District, which usually votes more towards the Republican side, right? And so they are still fighting these new maps in court. So it's not set in stone yet. But even if it was, Jasmine has already stated she's already found a loophole. It is not required for you to live in the district that you are running for. It is only required that you live in the state that you are running for Congress for, right? So technically, Jasmine can run in any district in the state of Texas, right? So they might have low key, removed her spot in the house, right? But she can still run in a different district. Right now, she's thinking of running in the same district she lives in, which it will be the new District 33. However, there's other districts that she can just pop up in and say, I'm going to run in that district because she still lives in the state of California. I am so proud of her. That's what it means to not back down. That's what it means to take them out from the inside out. And that is the type of shenanigans that I love to negate. Those are the type of shenanigans that I'm here for. Let's go. I am so proud of her. I wish her all the best. Wish that I could vote for her, but there is absolutely no way on Beyonce's green earth that I would ever consider living in Texas. I'm a Californian through and through. In fact, September 5th just made it 20 years that I've been living in California. So I'm practically a Californian at the moment. I'm coming up on 33 years of life. I've been here 20 years, and that's longer than I have been in that other place that I grew up in. So I'm a Californian now, through and through. You will never see me move outside of California unless I'm moving out of the country. Absolutely, absolutely. So congratulations, Jasmine Crockett. I am rooting for you. We are all rooting for you. 4B Queendom is behind you 100%. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes. Now, this week's What's Entertaining Me is technically what we're here to talk about. So let's just dive right into it. And let's talk about Catharina Maura's The Windsor series. Oh my goodness. 6 delicious, scrumdiddlyumptious books, right? Let me list out the titles for you. It starts with The Wrong Bride, right? And then we go into The Temporary Wife, The Unwanted Marriage, The Broken Vows, The Secret Fiance, and I just finished yesterday morning, The Devious Husband. Such good books. So let me give you the rundown and let me describe to you a couple of the scenarios with a couple of the FMCs in this series and why I felt it was so important that we discuss selfishness today. It is so very important that we discuss this today, right here, right now, before we move any further forward. So what is the Windsor series about? The Windsor series revolves around this old money family, last name, surname, the Windsors, right? 6 siblings, 5 brothers, one younger sibling, one younger sister who is the absolute baby of the bunch. Their parents died in a car crash when they were younger, so they have been raised by their grandparents. Unfortunately, grandfather is no longer with us. He passed of a heart attack. So now the family is being run by the matriarch, which is the grandmother. The grandmother is very ruthless. She can be baking cookies and the sweetest, loving grandma ever 1 minute, and then she can be cut throat the next. Again, this is an old money family. Each one of the siblings runs a different sector of the overall Windsor Empire. Okay, so there's the media sector, there's the finance sector, there's the hotel sector, there is the tech sector, there is the international business sector, and then there is the real estate sector, right? 6 different sectors. They have more money than you could ever dream of, all of them billionaires in their own right. However, there is a caveat to that money that they have. All 6 siblings know that they will never get to choose, will not get to choose who it is they marry. They all know that they will have to rely on their grandmother to choose who it is they marry. They all understand this. They've all known this since they were a young age, that their marriages would be arranged in order to bring more prosperity to the family. What it is they do business deals along with these arranged marriages. So, for example, in the first book, that's not a good example, is it? Yeah, it is. The first book is the media, right? And so one media company merges with the Windsor media company, and the two get married. The second is finance, so on and so forth. So these are all business deals, business arrangements. However, the grandmother is not super heartless, and she does take into consideration what is best for her grandchildren and what will make them happy in the long run. However, when they get married, all of them were forced into their marriages at first. They didn't want them. They were all forced into their marriages at first. When they get married, there are a set of rules that they have to follow. One, they have to give the marriage a real chance. Both of them, the guy and the girl. All right, these are traditional couples. So the guy and the girl, they both have to give the marriage a true chance. They have to stay married for at least 3 years. 3 years. They cannot sleep in separate beds. They have to sleep in the same bed every single night. And if they have to spend nights apart, they cannot spend more than 3 nights apart at any given time, no more than, I think it's like 20 nights a year that they can't spend apart in those 3 years. And then they both have familial obligations outside of the company, the joint company that they will be running. So they will have to go to grandma's house for dinner every Sunday night. Sometimes the other side's family wants to have a dinner that they have to go to, or say as something like that they have to go and spend the night every weekend just so that they know that their daughter is safe or something like that. But for the most part, those are the main rules. Oh, and they cannot cheat. No one can cheat. There's no fidelity. If one person cheats, they both lose their inheritance. Right? Okay, so that is the premise of the whole series, right? Grandma is cutthroat, okay? But she does it with love, because every single one of the matches, like I told you, they started off on the day that they got married. Not somebody in the marriage didn't want to get married to that person. Okay? Somebody didn't want it. Either one or both didn't want the marriage. But the books all end with happily ever afters and vow renewals or second ceremonies. So it always ends up working out. Grandma knows best, but sometimes she has to be real manipulative to get these hard-headed kids in line and check, right? Okay, so let's discuss some of these queens, right? Who are treated like queens by their men. These are, like I said, these are all happily ever after. These are all men who know that women run the world. They all know that they like to say you're mine, you're mine. They like to be possessive, but they know at the end of the day, they're hers. That she runs them. Like that they are at her mercy, right? Right? At their wives' mercy. Okay. Mm. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Love a pining, love a good pining, love a good mind, love a good possessive. Oh, MMC, love it. So, MMC stands for main male character. So, let's talk the second book, right? We'll start with the second book, which is Luca and Valerie's book, right? And that is called The Temporary Wife, right? So Luca and Val are different in that Val does come from a affluent family, but she's estranged. What happened was her father is from an old money family, but again, old money families in this world have arranged marriages. When he fell in love with her mom, at first he was like, okay, well, go ahead and just own me then, because I love her and I'm going to be with her and I'm going to stay with her. But when things got hard without mommy and daddy's money, he ran away and he left Valerie and her mom to fend for themselves, right? And so Valerie grew up feeling guilty that her mom was in the predicament that she was in. They were struggling, could barely get by, could barely afford to pay their bills, to eat. And they also had another mouth to feed, which was her grandmother. So it's three generations living in this small shack of a house, just trying to get by until Valerie goes to college and she studies business and she applies, and by the grace of God, grandma sees her application and actually appoints her as Luca's assistant. Luca hates this because Luca knows what grandma's doing, right? She's a spy. She thinks that, grandma, put Valerie as his assistant so that she would have someone close to him to spy on him and see what it is he's doing, when he's doing it, how he's doing. He's not doing anything bad per se. He just doesn't like to be manipulated. He doesn't like the games that grandma plays as the matriarch. So at first, he absolutely hates Val, right? But her relentlessness to learn, her relentlessness to not give up. Then he starts learning that, she's doing all of these things, working all these crazy hours, putting up with his mess under dire circumstances, makes him fall in love with her. So they're working together for 8 years before their book even starts, right? And in that time, he has her working 16-hour days thinking that'll make her quit. It doesn't. He treats her like shit, thinking that'll make her quit. It doesn't. He tries to fire her for little tiny small mistakes that she makes, but grandma always steps in and axes that in the bud, right? And so then he finds out that she is taking the bus to work. So he gets her a company car. Then he finds out that it still takes her mad long to drive from the shack she lives in to the office. So he gets her a company apartment nearby. Again, she's the only one with these perks. Okay. So it shows that over time he started to fall in love with her, and, trying to fire her for her tiny mistakes turns into him mentoring her, right? Pays her well. And this works out for Valerie because she is spending all of her time, all of her money, all of her energy to take care of her mom and her grandmother. Everything she gets, everything she makes goes to her mom and her grandmother. She works these long 16-hour days for her mom and her grandmother. She puts up with Luca's mess, absolute disrespect for her mom and for her grandmother. Over and over again, it's stated over and over again that she's doing this. She's working so hard for her mom and her grandmother. And her mom and her grandmother are seeing this and are like, you need to slow down. You need to live life. Do you have any friends? Do you go anywhere? Do you do anything? She's so engrossed in this man's life that she's going to grandma's weekly dinners for the family. Because after they sit and have dinner with grandma, they go back to work. That's how hard she has been working this man. And yes, she's getting paid really well, and she has a company vehicle and she has a company apartment, but at the same time, she's not getting paid what she deserves. Because at this point, after 8 years, she's doing COO work, Chief Operations Officer work, right? Not executive assistant to the CEO work. You feel me? You understand? But again, she doesn't say anything because she doesn't want to rock the boat, because at the end of the day, she is only working herself ragged for her mom and her grandmother. until finally, what is it? Oh, grandma knows that it's Val and Luca. That's the match right there. But in order to push them together, grandma sets him up with another arranged marriage, right? And so he has this other fiance, and that's what catapults their story and bringing them together and realizing that they love each other and they want to be with each other, right? But when he gets this new fiance, he's asking Val to make restaurant reservations and to order flowers for this chick that he don't even like, right? And Val is like, that is not a part of my job description, right? And so finally, she chooses herself, she chooses her heart, and she decides that she is going to quit at Windsor Finance, Windsor Bank, and go find a COO position somewhere else. Because at this point, she's got a master's degree. Like, they helped her through college. That's another thing I forgot to say. Like, they helped her go and get night classes so that she can finish her BA, uh, her business associate degree, and then go back and get her master's degree. Like, she has been working at the top company in the field. There's no job that she can't get. But as soon as she said she was leaving, he was like, please, I get down on my hands and my knees. Don't leave me, please. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. But it took that for her to finally choose herself and decide, okay, enough is enough. I've got enough money for 6 months. I can find something else that will give me a life because I deserve to live a life that is not revolved around this man, but I deserve to live a life that where I can have hobbies and I can have friends and I can see my grandmother and my mother more frequently than I am now, right? But it takes that extraneous circumstance for her to finally choose herself, right? That's book 2. Now let's discuss book 3, right? Book 3 is Faye and Dion's story, and it is called The Unwanted Marriage, right? And this one, they are the only couple who knew from a very young age that they were going to be matched together, right? However, what the Windsors did not know was that Faye has been groomed for Dion her entire life, right? Her mom died when she was young, and her father um, realized that the Windsors, that partnership, that deal was the only way that he could financially sustain himself and his new family. He gets remarried and takes in and has 2 new children, right? So it's her 2 younger sisters, her stepmom, and her father living in this house, right? But excuse me, because he doesn't want to wreck this deal with the Windsors, he is abusing, trigger warning, the mess out of her and forcing her to take all these types of crazy lessons in order to please Dion when the time comes for them to finally get married, right? So her mother was a famous pianist. And the way that her mother and the Windsors know each other is that she was best friends with all the siblings' mom before the mom passed away, right? Actually, she was on the same plane. Yes, it was the 2 moms and the Windsor's dad that were all on the same plane heading back to America to a piano recital where they crashed, the plane crashed, right? So they all passed away at the same time. but they were best friends. The moms were best friends and both pianists. And so they passed that down to Dion and Faye. And so even though Faye didn't want to be a pianist, especially after her mom passed away, her dad forced her to become a pianist so that she could have something in common with Dion. She went to school for business, even though that's not what she wanted to study, so that she could talk business at events and things of that nature when she attended those with Dion. She was given curtsy lessons and etiquette lessons and all these things. Had to always be prim and proper. She had a stylist who styled her to be, very prim and proper. She didn't wear a pair of jeans until she first got married. Like, that's how strict it was. And whenever something would happen or something would pop up in the blogs about what Dion was doing overseas, because he ran away, right? He ran away and decided to be in control of the international sector of their business so that he didn't have to think about Faye and what that would entail, right? So he's running and building the international sector of their business, but he's also running around, having his picture taken with all types of girls, being a player. And every single time that a new picture would pop up in the news, she would get punished for it. Why aren't you her father would say stuff like, why aren't you keeping him in his eyes on you? There's something you're not doing right. There's something you're doing wrong, etc., etc. When they would go to events, Dion would always dance with her once and then take her home. Like, there were always yearly galas or something like that he would fly back home to do, and she would have to go with him. They would dance once and he would take her home. Her father would punish her if she came home too early, because it meant that she wasn't doing her job, right? So, in seducing him, right? So she's lived her entire life centered around this man that she already knows that she's going to marry one day. That is her person, because during their marriage, her family, her father will get $2 million per year that they are married, up to the 3 years. So $6 million in total, right? But this entire time, her father is forcing her to continue to play the piano. And she's become this grand master pianist, and she doesn't even know it. He's forcing her to do 2 concerts a month and telling her that she's not good enough to get the good pay. So she's only making pennies on the dollar, while he's taking all the money she's making, which is millions, and pocketing it for herself, right? And so when we meet her in the beginning of her story, she is terrified, not for herself. She has resigned herself to her fate, right? She thinks she's leaving one cage for a gilded cage, right? She's terrified for her younger siblings, because she doesn't believe that once she moves out and once she moves in with Dion, that her father will be okay and stop abusing people. Right now, he's only abusing her, and her stepmom has never touched her younger siblings, right? But I don't know how he came up with it. He starts to attack her younger sibling in front of her and use that as a bargaining chip for her to keep her in line, even though she's getting ready to move out and, be married, right? He's still going to try to control her financially, and he's still going to try to control her with physical abuse aimed at her younger siblings. So this entire time, she's not worried about herself. She's staying in line. She's keeping up with this abuse, even though her marriage with Dion turns out to be loving, turns out to be great, turns out that he has some skeletons in his closet. He's not 100% legit, right? He's got a little mafia in him, if you know what I mean, right? And so this is the reason why he stayed away from her this entire time, right? And so he ends up telling her that he's actually loved her his entire life, but like because of this disconnect or whatever, he wanted to protect her and stay away from her. So her marriage ends up being perfect and beautiful, but she's still getting abused twice a month at these concerts that she's doing, and then financially controlled, right? And she's taken it because she wants to protect her younger siblings. It isn't until the end of the book until she realizes that her younger siblings are in on it. Her stepmom is in on it. They know how much money she's been making. They don't do anything. They don't say anything because they like the lifestyle that they're living. And as long as she's the one who's getting the brunt of the abuse, they were fine with it. But as soon as she started standing up for herself, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. So again, she's not worried about herself. She's not taking care of herself. She's worried about her younger siblings. And her younger siblings could give two coins about her. And it takes her learning the hard way, finding all this out the hard way for her to finally choose herself. Those are two examples. And I'm going to give you a real life example. I'm going to give you me, right? I'm going to give you me. We all know that I went to college. That's how I grew up homeless, right? And I stopped being homeless when I got into Chapman University and I moved into the dorms. Instantly, I have not only a bed, a warm bed, not only dressers to put my clothes and my belongings in instead of the black trash bags that I was using to carry all the things that I possessed. Not only that, but I also had a meal plan with the cafeteria where I can have 3 meals every single day for free. All of a sudden, I'm okay. Instantly, the guilt slipped in instantly, because while I was okay, my mom and my brother were still homeless, right? And I have been feeling guilty ever since. We all know, because we spoke about it before, that I ended up taking my younger brother in and becoming his legal guardian my last year of school. The school, Chapman University, actually gave us a house, and that's where we lived the first year of his guardianship. He was 14, I was 21. Right? 14 turning 15. I was 20 turning 21. I gave up 4-ish years of my life to take care of my younger brother. Someone else's child. We spoke about this when we spoke about Lilo and Stitch, right? Somebody else's child, right? So that he could have the best chance at life, right? Fast forward to, so many times since I stepped out, moved out of our family unit and went to school, I have tried to help my mother. While my brother is he has a home and he has a job. He's successful in that way. My mom is still homeless to this day, right? And so there's been so many times that I've tried, so many professors that I've heard, that I'm writing some sort of story, I'm doing some sort of this because of my mom. And they've reached out and they've tried to help her. And she's burned so many bridges on my end, on her end, on my brother's end. And there's just no helping her. She does not want to get help. And until she is ready to help herself, there is really nothing that I can do, right? And I knew this and I understood this, but when it's your mom, the person you grew up having like ingrained to love, it's more difficult to let go, right? It's more difficult to choose yourself. However, when I found myself again homeless by myself in 2020 at the height of a global pandemic, I realized then and there that selfishness is not selfish. Being selfish is the ultimate form of self-care. And this is the reason why I bring up this series, these books with you today. This is the reason why I bring up my story with you today, because I think it is so very important, especially with what is going on in the world right now. It is so very important that we remember to take care of us first and foremost. You have to take care of yourself first and foremost. You are worthy of happiness, of joy, of love too. Again, we spoke about this when we spoke about Lilo and Stitch, but I just needed to remind you, especially after seeing these two very different scenarios, and that's just two of four different scenarios of the female having to learn how to choose herself in those books, that I feel it is something that we should revisit as often as possible. Being selfish and taking care of you, going after what it is you want, is not bad. It is not selfish. It is okay. It is okay. Let's reframe this word. Let's take it back. Okay, Your Majesty? Because yes, there are people that need to be taken care of who are sick. Yes, there are people who rely on you for X, Y, and Z, but never, never, never at the detriment of your mental health, never at the detriment of your self-worth, your self-care, your self-love, because you are alive too and you deserve to live life as well. You deserve joy and happiness as well. I saw a video just yesterday of a new mom who I absolutely adore, who I love. I was going for love and adore at the same time, and that's how I got to a dove. But who I absolutely adore and love. I love her content. Have been seeing her pop up on Instagram for years. And she was in her car eating a piece of cake, talking about how she is, what was she saying, like 8 months postpartum. And she decided that she is going to give up on breastfeeding her child because it's mentally draining her. She went all in right at the get-go, and it started messing with her mental health so much that she's not producing what she needs to sustain her child. And so she is going to switch to formula. And although she felt like a failure, she was still making the best decision for her as a mom, because if she's not doing well, how is it that she could take care of her child? Same situation. We see this every day in multiple different forms. And I just want you to know that it is okay for you to choose yourself, Your Majesty. It is okay for you to choose yourself. You do not have to spend 100% of your life taking care of others, doing for others, being there for others. You can choose to be there for yourself. You can choose to stand up for yourself. You can choose to do things that you yourself enjoy doing. You can walk in your purpose. You can use the gifts that you were given in this life to change the world. You do not have to do what your parents tell you to do. You do not have to spend 24/7 taking care of your parents. You do not have to take care of your grandparents. There are other ways. There are resources out there, especially if you have multiple siblings. That burden does not belong on you and you alone. Choose yourself. Choose you. Choose you. You're up here helping other people live their best life while you suffer in silence? How is that fair? How is that a good thing? Choose you, Your Majesty. That may mean putting grandma in a home. That may mean supporting your younger sibling while they go through the foster system. That may mean choosing to use formula instead of breast milk. That may mean going and seeking actual help to get yourself out of a situation that is becoming violent for not only you, but those around you. It may mean speaking up. That may mean that you have to leave some family, some friends behind. And that is the detrimental, devastating conclusion that I am coming to right now in my own life. My brother is going through something that I cannot share in good conscience publicly, but it's something that I have spoken to him about over and over and over again until I'm just beating a dead horse. And my mom is the same way. My brother has the ability to help her now and has asked me, what can we do to help her? What can we do to get her out of this situation? But when it comes time to actually do something, everyone looks to me to do the things, to make the sacrifices, to go above and beyond, to help. When we know that my help is not what my mom needs at this moment. My mom needs professional help. And she is unwilling to see that and unwilling to take that. And so I am choosing myself. It's funny because my mom was living in a mall up until a couple of weeks ago. She's been living in that mall for 2 years now. And the very same week that my negotiations went through and I learned that I was going to get a $20,000 raise with my new promotion was the very same week that she got kicked out and banned from that mall. And I remember my brother calling me like, let's go to my house. Let's all discuss it. Let's hang out. And at first I was like, yeah, let's go, let's go. And the more I thought about it, the more and more depressed I got because I knew what was coming. What can Jasmine do to help me? What can Jasmine sacrifice in order to help me when I'm not even willing and ready to help myself? And so I chose me. And I've been holding on to that guilt for a couple of weeks. And that may have had something to do with the reason why I broke 75 hard yesterday. Um, and it is something that I will spend some time deep diving into and letting go while I'm on vacation because I am not backing down. I choose me and I deserve to be chosen. You deserve to be chosen, Your Majesty. So choose you. Selfishness is not a bad thing. Sometimes it is what we need to not only help ourselves, but to help the people around us in the best way possible. Because when we take care of ourselves, when we pull ourselves up out of the mud, we are more equipped, stronger, and able to pull others around us up out of the mud too, in a way that does not negatively affect us too. Right now, you are trying to pull yourself up out of the mud, but you are being weighed down by those around you. And you deserve better. Why, Your Majesty? Why? Choose you. And it's not going to be an easy decision. It's going to be something that you're going to have to do every single day. I loved how Catharina Maura, in every single one of her books, she always ended it by saying that love, true love, real love, is making that choice every single day to love that person, to be by that person's side, to be that person's person, to uplift them, to guide them, to hold them up, to love them every single day. You have to make that choice every single day. And that includes that relationship that you have with you as well. You have to make that choice every single day. Choose you because you deserve it. You deserve to live the life of your dreams. You deserve happiness. Not when XYZ happens, not when ABC is given to you or is done. You deserve joy right here, right now. Choose you, Your Majesty. I just wanted to reiterate that no matter what it looks like, you are important too. You deserve love too. You deserve joy too. And it is okay to choose yourself. It is okay to choose yourself. This is your sign. This is your permission. Choose you, Your Majesty. Now, tell me, Your Highness, what are your goals for this week coming up? Huh? I want to know what you plan, how you plan on showing yourself more grace, showing yourself more love. How do you plan on choosing you this week? What are your goals, Your Majesty? Tell me. Yes, Your Highness. Yes, Your Majesty. Slay on. I am so excited to speak to you next week while I'm in Florida and to hear how your week has gone, how you've slayed each and every single one of your goals, how you showed up for yourself and chose you, Your Majesty. I know you can do it. I believe in you. And I'm so excited to hear from you next week and hear how you slayed. Because I know there's only up for you from here, Your Majesty. I just know it. I can feel it. Can you? So for myself, my goals this week coming up are there's this project, and I know I told you that was one of my goals for last week that I want to finish before my vacation at work. And so I want to finish that project. I got about halfway through it this last week, so I want to finish the other half this week. I want to read another 3 or 4 books. Yes. And I want to step on this plane because I am afraid of flying. But I'm going to Disney World, and I live right next to Disneyland. So I've gotta, I'm gonna get there somehow, some way. So I pray that I use the tools that I've learned in psycho-cybernetics and Think and Grow Rich and A Happy Pocket Full of Money, because those tools aren't just for money, right? Those tools are for anything, any way, shape, or form of life, right? And so I hope that I can successfully use those tools to calm my racing heart and my mind when taking this flight to Disney World. So yeah, those are my goals. And I just want to thank you for being with me and catching the 22nd episode of the Royal Reset podcast. Of course, because this episode is even, it'll be live for free on the tubes of you today. Again, all odd episodes are trapped behind our actually for the Royal Court on Patreon for $5 a month. You can catch all the episodes of the Royal Reset podcast. But if you are not a part of the 4B Royal Court, then you can only catch the even episodes every other week. So this episode will be on YouTube for free. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me every week and allowing me to inspire and motivate you, Your Majesty. This is a dream come true for me. And I'm so excited to spend this time with you every week. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, different place, technically and physically, because we'll be in Disney World next week, 1. And 2, we'll be on Patreon only next week. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, Your Majesty, and I will see you next week. Slay on, Your Highness. Slay on. Bye.